We pause this programming during our regularly scheduled airtime to bring you a Lumpen radio special. The following broadcast may feature a range of conversations, interviews, performances, and more. Please remain seated and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Lumpen Special. This is Sandra Treviño, and today we have a special guest in studio to talk about all that they do in Chicago, not only for our city, but beyond. Rosalba Valdez is a dynamic artist who creates music that not only reflects her beautiful Mexican culture, she also uses these opportunities to platform and advocate for immigrants, speak out against injustices, and ask that we all unite for social change. She has important work coming up in the next few months and is also working on her first debut album. So we welcome to the studio Rosalba Valdez. Welcome.
Yay, thank you so much for having me, Sandra. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. And this Lumpen Special is great because we need to get to know Rosalba Valdez. Who is Rosalba Valdez? We know her as a singer, an activist, an artivist. Beyond that, tell us a little bit more about who you are. Where are you from? And tell us the first instance you knew that you wanted to sing.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with what I tell people in general. I'm Rosalba Valdez, a singer, songwriter, Mexican-American, born and raised in Pilsen and Little Village, Chicago, to parents who migrated from Michoacan, Mexico. And I claim both Pilsen and Little Village because I moved back and forth a lot. And that's a question that comes up a lot on social media, like, why both? Well, because some of us literally just move back and forth a lot. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. And to answer the question about when I started singing, I would say I actually started playing guitar first when I was 5 years old. My dad also plays guitar and sings and writes music. And I think one day he just gave me a small guitar and told me to start playing. And he also gave me a book to learn with. And I was always also just like transcribing songs for him for his rehearsals with his band. So it started with the guitar, and then I started learning at all the church choirs and things like that. So very young.
Was it something that you liked, that you enjoyed, the guitar?
Yeah, I was. I think when I was little, there was no pressure about like being a musician or anything like that. It was just something fun. And I think there's something to just learning anything new, whether it's an instrument or language, and getting better at it. Probably also getting my father's approval was a part of that. So, yeah.
Nice. In your household, obviously from Michoacan, what kind of music were you listening to?
Well, it was a little bit of everything. So my dad, I vividly remember learning Pedro Infante songs with him, and that I even worked on a school project highlighting Pedro Infante's story and stuff like that. And then with my mom, it was a lot more on the romantic side. So she liked Los Yonix, Los Temerarios, Cadetes de Linares, un poco de todo así. And it was all over the place, Los Bukis. But then I also was really into like pop stuff that was on TV, MTV, the Latino MTV. So like Julieta Venegas. Who else? Yeah, a lot of really cool, awesome people.
Like all the alternative and rock en español stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Is there something about Mexican music, specifically besides the guitar, that influences you to fuse it into the music that you make?
I think it's all the rhythms. There's something about just like really high energy percussion that I really love. I think it's something I've heard that like some people are super into, like the kind of music that they like to listen to is just like maybe more low, mellow, like R&B. For me, it's always been on the opposite side where it's like it has to be high energy. And for me, it's like the kind of music that moves me, the kind of music that helps lift me out of maybe depression or anxiety or sadness. And so those really like high energy percussive instruments are something that I love to include in my music. Feels very Latino, very indigenous, very African, and very worldly.
Mm-hmm. Nice. You started playing the guitar, right? And then you did it at church, and obviously you start maybe feeling this music thing as maybe a possibility of furthering it, right? How did you know you wanted to do this, be a singer-songwriter full-time?
Honestly, I would say that it started, well, I found purpose in music when I would play for people, for crowds, when I would be fundraising for immigration rallies and buses to go to Washington, D.C., advocating for immigration reform. And I found purpose in that because, and I've told this story before, but I literally watched grown men cry, which isn't something that was normal in my life. I don't think I ever really saw my dad cry except like my grandparents' funerals.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was really impactful to sing about songs related to immigration from the perspective of a young girl whose father was deported, and watching these people cry and be so moved by my music. And so those were really, really impactful experiences for me personally. And then honestly, when I was going to high school to college, I wasn't necessarily going down the music route. I was doing music. It was already a part of my life, my entire life, always taking classes, always in the church bands or different bands. But when I went to college, I remember going for political science because I thought I was going to get into politics somehow, because that's also something that's a huge part of my life. And I also find purpose in just creating change in that way. But then at some point, I think it was 2 years in, I realized I can't do this. I don't want to do it this way. I want to create change in the world, but I want to do it in a way that's fun. I want to do it through my art. I kept obviously being an artist, but more so backing musician for other bands. And then I decided, no, I really want to put out my own music, my own message. And that's, I think 2019 is when I really was like, I want to release my own project and put myself out there as Rosalba Valdez.
Right before the pandemic.
Yes. Oh my God, it was crazy. November 2019, I released my debut EP, Yo Soy Mexicana.
That's great. And also stressful,
Yeah,
I bet.
very.
Coming out of that, being so excited about that, and then the world shuts down a little bit, but here we are now, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about your work with the community. Does that come from your culture in the church and what you learned there, or does it come from your parents? Where did you know that you needed to do something?
That really comes from my upbringing with the church, and very specifically with the church under Pastora Emma Lozano, who's an activist for immigrant rights, and Reverend Walter Slim Coleman, que ya falleció el año pasado, and rest in peace. But they really guided me in forming those values for myself, and I really am so grateful for that, because I don't know that I would have gone this route had I not grown up with them. I grew up every Sunday going to church, but aside from that, going to eat after church with my pastor, Emma Lozano. And I remember being so young, 8, 9, 10 years old. And for me and my sisters, it was something fun. We would go out with her granddaughter and her, but she always posed these questions to us that really made us think about these issues in the world, and just like asking us our opinion, not telling us what we should think. She would just be like, oh, what do you think about this? And, well, what do you think about this? Do you think this is selfish? Do you think this is selfless? And very, very, what do you call it? Se me está yendo la palabra, but interesting questions, I think, that made us feel empowered to answer those questions for ourselves, which I think is something that we don't see a lot of people doing anymore, right? It's those critical thinking skills that we develop, at a
Right.
young age.
Being introspective,
Yes.
learning who you are, your moral compass. And
Yes.
tell me more about Emma Lozano. If I don't want to be incorrect here, but is she running for office right now?
She's running for the school board. Yes, she's
okay.
already a member.
Okay.
But this is the first time in Chicago history that people get to elect or vote for the school board for public schools. And I think it's awesome. And so she's running to keep her seat.
Are you still close with her?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
so that's so beautiful that she kind of opened up your mind to ask questions, to be curious and learn more. And then also you, on your behalf, being like, I am going to take a step to do something. Not everyone has the heart or the spirit to do that. It's so difficult, especially when you mention singing and seeing these people crying. Like, how do you get through it?
Right. It's so funny because I feel that, right? And I feel like I have people, I've had people in the past tell me like, you're too political. You need to be more selfish. You need to just focus on your music. And I'm like, there is no music without my feelings. And my feelings are very much related to everything that's going on in the world. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I grew up so aware of these things. It's like that frog in the well analogy or story, right? Like they don't think of anything else, or they don't have this awareness of the outside world, so they're not unhappy. But if maybe they knew about like how vast and big the world was, then they would be unhappy about being inside that well. So I think for me, it's just like being so aware of just how we're affected by the structures in our society. I want to change them. And maybe it's also like a bit of having this like rebellious spirit. I do feel that. I've always felt like I'm trying to go against the bandwagon, even like new movies coming out. I'm like, I don't want to watch it yet. Like everyone's talking about it. It's like, but I'm not 100% sure. I feel like when I get through things, I really just rely on my family and my friends. And I feel like with my family, it's the people that I know like aren't expecting anything from me. They're not expecting me to serve or put on a face or look or act a certain way. I can just be myself, myself, and that's who I rely on the most.
Absolutely. Assertive and rebellious. We need more women like this. You were, at some point, you are very vocal about things, especially on social media, and you were having a bit of you were getting trolled at some point.
Oh my God.
Especially the misogynistic side of humanity came out. How did you deal with that? That was upsetting to see. And menning.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry to the men in the room.
No, it's a real thing. And it's funny because even recently, I wouldn't say I'm getting trolled, but some of my videos, and I guess I'll mention it now for context, I met the Mexican president, and there are a lot of comments on some of the videos where people are saying negative things, mostly about the political side of it, not so much me, but it's not affecting me as much as that video where I posted a video maybe a year and a half ago talking about Spanish radio, and I won't mention the station, but just noticing like I was not hearing any women being played, and it was all regional Mexican music. But also that's still true right now. Like if you look at the charts in Mexico or just Latin America, like especially in regional Mexican music, I want to focus on that. There's barely any women. And so the narratives that are being pushed out are more on the misogynist side, more saying like, more from the man's perspective, who's dolido, who's heartbroken, and maybe saying things that are not so nice about women. And I just don't think that that's okay. I think there could be some balance. And so I made a video. I definitely got trolled, and people were calling me all kinds of crazy things. And at the moment, I was scared. I think aside from just like the negative comments about my appearance or my music or what I was doing, there was a page, a very conservative page that shared my likeness on Twitter, which I'm not even on Twitter. Somebody sent me a screenshot like, hey, just so you know, this is your face is on here on this page. And I was like, oh man, like it felt like they were putting my face on that page for people to further attack me, to maybe dox me. I don't know. And I think that's what's scary, because it's been happening to many people who are vocal about things like this. And I don't even think I was saying anything crazy. I was really just pointing something out that I had an issue with, and people were really, really not okay with me having an opinion.
Yes. Awful behavior. And it is scary. It is a dangerous situation at some point, especially if people dox, and people nowadays can't control their emotions. So, thank you for being so brave about it. And did you learn how to kind of navigate that sort of situation now?
I feel like it's made me so much more aware of just like who I'm sharing my location with, when I'm sharing my location, even on social media. Like, I don't want to share videos about where I live and things like that, although I'm like, well, you never know. I feel like it's so easy to find all those details about people nowadays, but also just like trying to be at peace with myself that I didn't do anything wrong. These people are the ones that are sick or have a lot of healing to do themselves. And so I want to pray for them in that sense. But I feel like it also, I remember at the time, it definitely made me spiral. But I don't want that to happen again. I feel like I just have to be super, super confident that what I'm doing is righteous and worth it at the end of the day.
And protect yourself.
Yes, and protect myself.
Yes, I love that. Now, we've gone through this. You started your music project right before the pandemic, and you're excited. And then a few years pass, and then you're gigging. You're doing this by yourself as a solo artist. What's the reaction?
Well, during the pandemic and
before. Before and after.
Before and after. Okay.
Did you get to perform during the pandemic?
Actually, I did.
Yeah.
I got to do some virtual things, and I got great reaction. That's why I was thinking about that.
That's beautiful.
But before, after, fortunately, I had already gotten a lot of stage experience with other bands that I was playing with as a guitarist. But I remember people really encouraging me, which is something that I appreciate. And especially those people that gave me my first opportunities, even if they were small, just playing like me by myself at a Pilsen bar, or even really early slots at a festival. Like those were awesome. Like those really made me feel like I could do it. And then just, I would watch the videos and always analyze and try to figure out what can I do better. And I feel like I'm still doing that. I'm still evolving. I'm still always trying to give a better show for the audience and really try to connect to people through those performances. But they've always been very positive, especially in person. Like people only have nice things to say. And if anyone ever has something negative to say, just don't say it. That's it. But it hasn't happened. So
no, be nice.
Yes.
You were performing with other bands. You said that's how you kind of got experience on stage. And then how did you navigate the music community to start getting booked? Was it an easy thing or was it challenging?
I feel like I don't know how I made these connections naturally. Maybe it was because I was already working with these other bands, but I want to shout out some names like Jaime Garza from Pachanca. Like he gave me some of my first opportunities playing in Pilsen at Mole de Mayo Fest, and really guiding me, always being so open to kind of like a mentor.
Yeah.
Giving me feedback and also suggesting things like, oh, you should have like this kind of band and like do this and think about that. And so I really appreciate people like him who I think not just have provided me a platform, but other people. And that's what they're passionate about. They're passionate about curating and uplifting, talent. And even people like Mikey O, who's a comedian, Mikey O Show, also gave me some of my first opportunities, and really just trying to uplift like the Latina community. And so I appreciate people like that for those kind of opportunities. But I'm trying to think, how did I even meet these people? I don't even remember. No. It's been so long ago, or how I navigated that. But I think it's also just like really putting myself out there, going to other people's shows, right? Connecting with people, just like getting to know them and having real conversations, sometimes not even related to music, but just getting to know about what they want to do, what they're looking to do, and being open to support them as well. I think it's a two-way street, not just in me looking to get booked for myself, but also how can I support them in any efforts that they are working on.
I like that you mentioned Jaime and Pachanka. Jaime has always been one of the main people, I think, in music in Chicago, especially with Latin music, that has been, steady and opening doors, not a gatekeeper, and just providing opportunities for the entire community. And, when he does these festivals and stuff, I appreciate how diverse they are. Did you know, acá entre nos, there is a woman, and I think she's in Mexico, who takes posters from concerts and removes all the men's names.
Oh, wow.
Imagine how many women are left. Sometimes
Oh,
zero,
my God.
sometimes two. And these are major festivals across the world. And so I appreciate when promoters, bookers, people creating these events take that into consideration, because it's still an issue.
It is.
And I know there's you and other women in Chicago doing festivals that highlight women. So thank you for doing that. We matter.
Yes.
And there's a lot of artists that don't get these opportunities. And I appreciate that you're opening doors as well.
Yeah, of course.
On the political end of it, you met the president of Mexico. How did that happen?
Well, I'm part of this singing contest called Mexico Canta, and I remember seeing that the contestants from last year, because this is the second year they're doing the contest, some of them got to meet the president. And so when I saw that, I asked this time around, as we were going through the auditioning process, of course, I wasn't officially a semifinalist yet. I was like, honestly, I just want to meet the president. And I remember one of the people in the room was like, no, we can make that happen. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? All of a sudden I'm asking myself these questions. But we went back to Mexico to continue with like the auditioning selection process for the contest. I made it. I became a semifinalist. So that means I'll be performing and competing live on the 23rd of August. So everyone needs to vote for me that day, virtually online. But in that process, it was like the day before they told us we were going to meet her and be on La Mañanera the next morning. And I don't know why they didn't tell us earlier. I think they just weren't sure about her schedule or something like that, or maybe they just didn't want us to be all nervous.
Yeah.
But I was so excited. I know like everyone was really nervous. I was nervous as well, but I kept telling myself, no, I'm excited more than nervous. Like, this is what I wanted, more than even just winning the competition. I wanted to meet the president and shake her hand. I do admire a lot of what she's doing, like uplifting indigenous communities. And it's a dream that actually came true.
Manifesting.
Yes. So that was really cool.
Nice. Mexico Canta, I'm going to mention what it is, an initiative of the Mexican government through the Ministry of Culture in collaboration with the Mexican Music Council. And the goal is to foster new musical narratives that move away from the glorification of violence through lyrics that evoke love, heartbreak, and the greatness of Mexico It also aims to strengthen and preserve traditional Mexican musical genres, and that's beautiful.
I love it.
How did you find out about this contest?
So I actually found out about it last year, and I applied last year, but I didn't pass or get in. This year I applied again. It was on the deadline, so I think the deadline was like midnight. It was like 11 p.m. and I'm recording my song on my iPhone in my sala, which everyone can see on their website because I think they uploaded everybody's audition videos.
Oh.
And so I applied with my song Lucha de Familias, which reflects different stories in the immigrant community. And I got in. And here we are. And we met the president already.
So how many contestants are participating or are up at this point?
So right now there are 14 of us, and they're dividing us by country. So it's open to it's a contest that was opened not just to Mexicans in Mexico, but also Mexicans and Mexican Americans in the U.S. So you have to have like, I believe, your dual citizenship or be the daughter, son of Mexican nationals, which I am. And so there are 7 of us from the U.S. that are going to be competing against each other in LA next week, and 7 from Mexico who are going to be competing in Mexico. And then from those 7, from each group, 3 will be selected to compete all together, 6 people in Mexico City for the final.
And when will that be?
That will be September, I believe, September 13.
So things are going fast.
Everything's so fast. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yes. When did you meet the president? In July?
July 24th, July 25th. At
But
this point, I'm not sure.
you're holding back. Tell us everything. Like, how did she look? How did she feel? Did you touch her hand? How did she smell?
She was so nice. You know what? I didn't smell her, but she was very nice. She hugged us, so we were not expecting that. I think I got 3 hugs, which I was like, what? But I had already seen videos of her and interacting with people on social media, and just like how friendly she was, and you know, people really, really love her and like her in Mexico. And so I kind of was expecting that, but at the same time, we were in it felt more of like a professional setting. So we were all like, no, be very respectful, shake hands. And, but no, she went in for the hugs. So it was really nice. And she was very complimentary towards everyone and smiley. And so we only felt good energy.
That's good. And then you performed there as well. Was it part of La Mañanera?
Yes.
How did that feel?
Yeah, so that was so nerve-wracking. But at the same
You
time...
did amazing.
Oh my God, thank you so much. At the same time, yeah, when I start singing, it doesn't matter what it's for. I just wanted to connect with people. And so even there, I was like, my audience, it's the reporters. So that's who I'm singing to. I'm singing to them. I'm singing to the president. I'm singing to the Secretaría de Cultura and my peers. And I just wanted to have a good time. And, you know, I would have probably moved around a lot more, but they wanted us to stay in one spot, you know, for the cameras and whatnot. But it was so fun. I'm like, if the president started dancing, I would have danced with her. But, you know, I wanted to keep it respectful.
Would you like to meet President Trump and sing for him?
Oh, my goodness, no. Oh, my goodness. I'm like, wait, what would happen if I had that kind of opportunity?
I don't know if you remember this. They asked Cardi B if she would be in an elevator. Who would she pick? Elon. I don't know who the other one was. Elon Musk or President Trump. And she's like, President Trump, of course. So I could annoy him the whole
Oh,
ride.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, if I had that kind of opportunity, maybe I should take it.
Be speaking in Spanish y diciéndole sus cosas.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. So you debuted Yo Soy Mexicana. That was your debut EP, and you're working on your full album now.
Yes.
Yes. To be released on vinyl.
Yes.
Oh, really?
That's the plan. I'm already working on the sponsor.
Oh, my goodness.
Not going to say who, though.
Okay.
Not yet.
¿Cómo se llama el disco?
So that's something I'm working on.
Okay.
As of now, my plan is self-titled, Rosalba Valdez. But I have been thinking about coming up with a name for it. It's just, I feel like it could use one, but I'm not 100% sure what that could be. It is on the political side, but it's, aside from political, it's really more just like posing these questions to people about what are we going to do for our world. It's literally burning. It's full of like sadness and despair and pain, and we got to do something.
Yes, we do. Why don't we listen to a snippet of one of the songs, Rumba de Rosalba? Tell me about this.
Yes. So this one is kind of an introduction to my band, the rhythms that we're going to be playing, and it's a single that's been released this week.
Nice.
And I'm very excited for that. But it's very high energy. It's really just like it reminds me of like Celia Cruz talking to the people and like, bailen conmigo, canten conmigo, gocen conmigo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where I take inspiration from.
Sharing in the joy.
Mm-hmm.
This is Rumba de Rosalba by Rosalba Valdez.
Un, dos, toca la guitarra, que toque el bajista, toca el pandero, con el baterista, que canten las mujeres y también los hombres, siente la energía de la gente mía. Me llamo Rosalba y con los valientes les toco esta canción de todo corazón para que gocen, muevan las caderas, manos y las piernas, olvidan la pena.
Una buena rumba by Rosalba Valdez. Rumba de Rosalba. Love it. I was telling my partner the other day, when I'm listening to Latin music, I'm like, what is it about, what part of the group, of a band, calls your attention the most? And it came right in your song. The horn sections for me are always like, oh. For any kind of music, Latin, or if it's a blues, he traes a horn, or like jazz, and then a horn. And then I was like, or I don't know if you're maybe too young for this. The movie with the guys that were the Lost Boys and the sexy sax guy that comes out. I don't think you know that one.
I'm bad at movie references in general.
Yes. Those who saw the Lost Boys know what I'm talking about. But I love it. There's definitely a beautiful combination of sounds, the Latin rhythms. And is this more of what you want to do?
This is what I love to do. I think it's also something that I think about in a live setting. And when I get to perform on big stages, festivals with like really cool sound systems, I want to have my full band. I want to have everybody on the stage and their energy, their talent. Something about the horns is also something that there's something there that I love, especially like these musicians that I play with. Like, they're so passionate, they're so talented. And specifically on this song, we have Ricardo Jimenez. He's Puerto Rican and he's so talented. And there's just something about the trumpet and his soloing throughout the song that just gives it something different.
Yes.
And it makes it sexy. It makes it fun. I love it.
Tell us about your band.
Yeah. So my band, I play with so many musicians, and I wish, every event had like the kind of budget where I could bring everybody on. And sometimes I have to do a smaller version. Sometimes it's everybody. But when I play with everybody, we got drums, we got Alex Tellez, we got bass, and sometimes it's Jaden, or sometimes it's Danny. And sometimes on the guitar, we have either Chris Larumbe or Daniel Ochoa. We have saxophone. Sometimes it's Daniel Chavez, Michael Pineda. It really depends also on people's availability and stuff like that, right? But these are like the people that I play with the most. And I want to think who else. We got the congas. We either got Jason Wolf, or we got Tito, or we got Javi. Who else? Let's see.
Backup singers.
We got backup singers, yes. We got Amparito Martinez, who is such an amazing singer herself, and part of multiple projects, always doing like Spanish rock tributes with different bands in Chicago, but also surrounding areas. We got the Keys, so sometimes we have Miguel Gama, who's her husband, or we have Brendan Cabrera or Omar Ramirez, who just had a baby recently. So, all these life factors, right? But I love everybody that I play with, and I'm like, who else do I play with? So many people. I'm like, I don't want to miss it or like not name somebody, but Roy McGrath as well on the saxophone, or Millie on the trumpet, or Ricardo, right? Or Walter Sanchez on the trombone. So, or even Jose Carrasquillo on the guiro, or a special guest that I bring on, like my friend Party Watcher Hochi. And there's just so many people that I get to play with, and I think that's the most fun part of the job, of this journey. For me, being on that stage and just like all of us giving it our all and connecting with people, dancing. And sometimes like the crowd will be dead when we first get on the stage. But as we're playing, people are like moving closer and closer. And that's so satisfying, because I'm like, wow, they really think, there's something to our music, to our energy, and they want to be part of it. And I'm just so grateful that people can feel that. And that's what we want.
Yeah. For Mexico Canta, do you get playback, or do you get to bring our musicians with you?
No, we sing with a playback, which, if I could have brought my band, that would be so awesome. Not just because they're talented, but also because of the vibes. Like, the energy is always so great. Everyone's so kind, so professional, respectful towards each other and everyone else. And that's also something that I think, I not that I struggled with it, but it took years to find the right people to work with, the people that I felt comfortable with, and that I felt also enjoyed my music, because that's a huge part of it. Like, you can play with people, but if they're not giving you, that energy, or it's kind of just like a job for them, or they're putting up a lot of like, I don't know. It's like, sometimes I pay people out of pocket. So it's not like I have a huge budget from the venue or the event. Like, sometimes it was just like me paying out of my own pocket for the musicians to play with me. And, I at least want to feel like they like to be there too. Right. So it's been years, and I would say 8 years of finding, really cool people.
And I'm glad you did. Yeah. Look at all the great things you're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Would you grace us with one of your songs on your guitar?
Oh my goodness, yes. Let me think. What should I do?
A este país llegué a los 6 años, a mis padres no podía pararlos, a buscar el sueño americano, y a ese sueño se llega nadando. En California encontramos trabajo, y en los campos hicimos encajo. Yo llegué a los 16 años, 15 de junio ya había pasado. Fue en el año de 2007, muy tarde para la acción del presidente. Como quisiera regresar el tiempo, para haber llegado un mes más temprano. Con papeles, también sin papeles, en sus ojos solo mexicanos. No se duerman allá en sus laureles, ahora es tiempo de organizarnos en la lucha justicia para el ser humano. Oh, I've got family and loved ones all over, living life looking over their shoulders, working hard to provide for their families, shining in the shadows where they're standing. They try to put us in all categories, but we all share a similar story. Con papeles, también sin papeles, en sus ojos solo mexicanos. No se duerman allá en sus laureles, ahora es tiempo de organizarnos en la lucha para nuestras familias y justicia para el ser humano.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I love the message of the song, especially in these days, these times when we thought things were going to get a little calm. Things are going back to craziness, and it's so disheartening and so hard to watch, so hard to just thinking that you cannot really do anything, but we can. What do you encourage us to do, not only to get through this time, this presidency, but also just to be able to like not lose hope?
Yeah, I definitely want to acknowledge that like there's a lot of psychological warfare happening against our communities right now. Sometimes it's not just the, officers the kidnappers coming into our communities and kidnapping people. Sometimes it's the posts that the certain pages are making online, pages from the government that are dehumanizing our people, that literally show people who look like our moms, our dads, and make us believe that people who look like that are criminals. And this kind of psychological warfare, it's so sinister because some people might think that that's just a meme or that's just supposed to be funny or like a joke, but it has real consequences. It creates real harm. And I went to school for marketing, so I know that all of that kind of stuff is very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And just like repeatedly putting things like that in people's faces just further dehumanizes and desensitizes us to all of that. And what I encourage people, and this is something that I've also been doing for a long time because I felt that I needed it for myself, which was like just understanding that we can do something about it. That's why I put out my first project, Yo Soy Mexicana. That's the reason I cared to even have some kind of musical career. It was because I just wanted to put my own message out there that no, Mexicans, no, we're not criminals, we're not rapists, we're not all of these horrible things that these people are saying. We are all of these other incredible things, and at the end of the day, we're human. And what I like to tell people is that we need to get creative, we need to be in community, we need to get to know our neighbors by actually having conversations. It's something that I've been working on myself. Like even my neighbors across the street, I'm just like, going up to them and like asking them their name and like asking them what they do for work and things like that. And I'm very proud of that. I've made some connections like that right on my block. It's taken some years, but doing more of that. And it's something that I'm doing through like this collective that I just joined this year as well, that's putting on this local festival in our park because we want neighbors to come out and just get to know each other.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, for sure. So I just joined this collective. It's called Little Lawndale Collective, and it's called Little Lawndale Collective because we are a group of people both from Little Village and North Lawndale. So kind of meshing those two neighborhoods together, Little Lawndale. And we are throwing a festival August 29th, and we're being super intentional about just like uplifting local vendors, local businesses, local artists, local bands. And the point really is to just get people to use our park. Our park, unfortunately, has had a lot of a history of decades of disinvestment, disenfranchisement, and we want to change that. Why? Because we live there, because we care about our own park. I run around my park all the time or walk.
It's a beautiful park, friends.
Beautiful park. And I care about the animals. Like I don't want it to sound like, oh my God, a hippie, whatever. But you go to the pond, you're looking at the turtles, and then I'm thinking about like all these festivals coming in, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen to the little animals? Their poor ears. It's like so sad. But at the same time, we just want neighbors to come out and feel like they can do something, and
that we all belong.
That we all belong.
Ours.
Yes. And we only feel empowered like that when we know each other and we feel like we got each other's backs.
That is true. I love that you're doing that, and that you work with people who also believe this. We need our communities to grow together. So that no one feels like they're not protected. A friend of mine recently said she came in from Mexico, and she's like, I'm going to go visit a friend. She doesn't want to leave her house because she's scared of ICE. And I'm like, imagine that, like, still now, like it's 2026, it's been years now, and people not being able to leave their homes because they're scared. And I understand, but I also think that we should keep doing these community engaging events, learning who your neighbor is, who needs help, who needs just a little like, hello, how are you? Are you okay? Do you want to talk? Like, vamos a tomarnos un café or something, I love that. Thank you for doing that, Rosalba.
Yeah, thank you also for what you do. I know you do a lot of really cool things in the community, and just like, we need more like of that.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Where can people find more information about your upcoming gigs? Because I know you're singing the national anthem as well.
Yes.
This is not the first time.
No.
This is third, second? You've been singing the national anthem for a bit.
I've been singing the anthem.
Which is great.
Specifically in the past year. Since last year, October, I think that kind of opened some doors. I sang the national anthem, but I did the Spanish version. So the U.S. national anthem has an official translation. And I sang that at a Chicago Stars game. So women's soccer, yay. And that, I think, opened up doors for me to sing the national anthem for other really cool sports entities like Chicago Fire. That was really cool because that was just, I think, like my biggest venue yet, probably. And we did that one in April. What else did I do? I did a Mexican national anthem as well for Mexico versus South Africa watch party at Ramova Theater. That was a lot of people as well, and I'm so grateful I got to do that because that's my people, And so just getting to do all these performances. Now I'm going to do one with the Chicago Sky, and we're going to do a bilingual version. Nice. So the first half is going to be in Spanish, the official translation, and then the second half is going to go into English. And I just think that's so important, especially last year when we did it with Chicago Stars, fully in Spanish. It was like making a statement too, like especially during a time last year where it was like really heightened activity and raids in our communities, people feeling attacked just for the language that they speak, the way that they look. And that was saying like, no, we literally have this official translation in Spanish, and there is no official language either in our country. So there's just also just like so much more richness in having multiple languages, multiple cultures, like flavors. Like, I don't understand anybody who wants to just be like everyone the same. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Where's the beauty? Like, even your natural parks and land, like, there's so much richness and different kinds of flowers, trees. Like, it just, that's how we are as humans as well.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Rosalba, our time is up, but thank you so much for joining me here for this Lumpen special. As a reminder, you have been honored, and it's our honor to have you representing Chicago and the Midwest and Latinos for Mexico Canta 2026, semifinalist.
Yes.
August
23rd.
23rd.
Mm-hmm.
How do people vote? Do they go to the website, find you, and then click? Or how does that work?
So we don't have that information yet, but
Come
it's, I
on.
know, right? I've been asking, but there's going to be something like that. It's going to be a link. I know everybody can watch a través del canal 22, their website.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Mexico, channel 22. But if you're here in the US, canal 22, I believe, .com.
Okay.
You can just like do a quick Google search. But if you follow me on my social media at Rosalba Valdez _ my website, rosalbavaldez.com, there's really not a lot of Rosalba Valdezes out there. So that should be easy to find. I will be posting all that stuff as well.
Yes.
The day of.
And we will be reposting. Remember, she's representing not only Chicago, the Midwest, but los mexicanos aquí en Estados Unidos y en el Medio Oeste. We're proud of you. Thank you.
Yay, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Yay.
This has been a Lumpen special. My name is Sandra Treviño. Today we were with Rosalba Valdez talking about her work, her music, and advocating for others, because that is what we do in Chicago. Thanks again, Rosalba. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Lumpen Radio Special. We apologize for the interruption. We hope you enjoyed the show. For a full list of our special programming, please proceed in an orderly manner to lumpenradio.com. Lumpen Radio specials are produced by Stephanie Manriquez, Charlie Garcia, Ariandi Luna, hosts, volunteers, and other friends of Lumpen Radio.
In all these areas, they're all gems.